This is Module 2, Lesson 17. We are going to be talking about multiplication and division of fractions and mixed numbers. All right, so we've already kind of talked about this. This is going to be all review. Remember, when you're multiplying fractions, you're just going to multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and reduce. Now, if you are somebody that likes to cross-cancel, which I am a big fan of, then you can do that prior to multiplying. So let's look at example 1. Now, there's nothing to cross-cancel here, so we're going to multiply 1 times 1, 2 times 3. My answer is 6, or 1/6, I should say. All right, looking at 2. Now we have 2 times 3. Well, we could cross-cancel first because 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 8 4 times. Now we can multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. 7 times 4 is 28. Now we are dealing with negative numbers here, so we got to think of our rules for multiplication, which would be spawn. Same signs, positive answer. These are opposite signs, so our answer is going to be negative. All right, so now remember, when you have a whole number, you're going to put that over 1 and multiply. You can cross-cancel. 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 4 twice. So 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. Opposite signs, negative answer. Now we can rewrite this as a mixed number because 2 goes into 3 one time with 1 left over. All right, last one, let's cross-cancel. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 3 once. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 7 is 7. Same signs, positive answer. Now, if we are talking about mixed numbers, because did you notice those were only fractions? If we're talking about mixed numbers, we have to rename the mixed number as an improper fraction before we can even think about multiplying. So right here, we're going to keep 1/2. That's still a fraction. This one is going to be 22 out of 5, or over 5. Now, before you multiply, you can cross cancel. 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 22 11 times. So 1 times 11 is 11. 1 times 5 is 5. Put it back into mixed number format, which would be 2 1/5. Now, I want you to try this yourself. So when you are ready, you're going to hit pause so that you can complete these 3 problems. When you're done, hit play so that you know you have the correct answers. All right, so we keep 1/4. This changes into 76 over 9. Now, we can cross cancel here. I know they're both even, so 2 goes into that. But does 4 go into 76? Let me do some quick math. It does. So 4 goes into 4 once. 4 goes into 76, 136, 19 times. So we get 19 over 9. 9 goes into 19 twice with 1 left over. All right, this one is 16 over 3 times 3 over 1. You can cross cancel. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 3 once. So that's 16 over 1. And when you have 16 over 1, that's just a whole number. All right, before we do this, we need to change this. So this becomes negative 15 over 8 times, that would be negative 12 over 5. Let's cross cancel. 5 goes into 5 once. 5 goes into 15 3 times. 4 goes into 8 twice. 4 goes into 12 3 times. So 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 1 is 2. Same signs, positive answer. Now 2 goes into 9 4 times with 1 left over. How'd we do? I hope we did okay with that. This next section is going to be very similar. So if you were doing okay with the multiplication, you really should be fine with the dividing as well. One thing we do have to know is what this word reciprocal means. We also refer to it as the multiplicative inverse, but the reciprocal is simply the flip of the fraction. So let's practice taking the reciprocal. So 2/3, the reciprocal would be 3/2. Negative 7 over 8, flip it, you get negative 8 over 7. 1/4, flip it, you get 4 over 1, which is just 4. 2 is really 2 over 1, so when you flip it, you get 1/2. Now, let's use that to talk about dividing fractions. So When you're dividing fractions, you're going to multiply by the reciprocal. And I like to use the keywords keep, change, flip. What that means is we're going to keep the first fraction, for example, 1/3. We're going to change it to multiplication, and we're going to flip 5. Now remember, 5 is really 5 over 1. So when I flip it, it becomes 1 over 5, which is 1/15. Let's try example 2. Leave, change, flip. So cross cancel, you get 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 twice. This would be 3 over 2, opposite signs, negative answer, and that reduces to -1 and 1/2. Now, this is something new. You've probably never seen it like this. This is what we call a complex fraction. Now, remember, fractions mean the same thing as division. So when I have 2/3 over 3/4, what that really is saying is 2/3 divided by 3/4. Now, I like to write it straight across because that's just how we're used to seeing it. So let's take a second, write 2/3 divided by 3/4. Now you can do leave, change, flip, and multiply. So 8 over 9 is our answer. All right, so what if we're dividing by mixed numbers? First, you have to rename them as improper fractions, just like you were doing for the multiplication. And we're still going to use those keywords of keep, change, flip. All right, so let's do that first. We're going to keep 2/3. Keep the division symbol right now because we need to change this to 10 over 3. Now that you've changed everything to improper fractions, do keep, change, flip. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 3 once. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 5 or 10 5 times. So now 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. All right, this one we have -5 over 2 divided by 5 over 4. So all I did was change them into improper fractions. Now we're going to do keep, change, flip. I'm going to cross cancel and multiply. So 2 over 1, opposite signs, negative answer, which is just -2. Last one, we have a complex fraction again. Remember, sometimes it's a lot easier just to write it straight across. Now let's change these to improper fractions. So this becomes -16 over 3 divided by -12 over 5. Let's do keep, change, flip. So 2 goes into, actually 4 goes into 12. 3 times 4 goes into 16 4 times. That will make it a little bit easier to multiply because you have 20 over 9. Same signs, positive answer. 9 goes into 20 twice with 2 left over. All right, with all that practice on multiplying and dividing fractions, I want you to take a look at the problem set and complete that by class tomorrow. Have a great day.